So do you think the designer world is cranking out more fragrances, or do you think the niche world is cranking out more fragrances? Let me know. Add a comment below. But in today's video, I'm going to talk to you about another big collection of soon to launch, if they haven't already launched, fragrances. If you're curious to learn about them, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Sebastian, talking to you about brand spanking new fragrances. I do these every 2 or so weeks, and so we have new fragrances to look forward to. And I feel like we've reached a point where there's just way too many, being launched. Like people are complaining that there's just too much out there. And so the quality has, totally is lacking with the releases. But there are a few fragrances, that come out that are quite good, but the majority of the fragrances have, become very forgettable and things like that. And there's another onslaught of elixirs coming that I want to talk to you about in this video. But let's get started with the first fragrance. And I believe this has already launched in the Middle East. I think in UAE it's selling. It's the latest fragrance from DIOR. It's called Rose Star, created by Francis Kurkdjian. This is rose, honey, musk, lemons, pear, Sichuan pepper. Now, if you remember, Santal Noir also launched as a Middle East exclusive. Then I found it in London when I was there at the beginning of 2019. Then I think it was released some places, pulled again, then released again. Is it what they're going to do with this fragrance? Because I think I had heard somewhere that this is a Middle East exclusive for now. But let me know if you have any information on this. I was going to say, let me know if you've already put your nose on it. What do you think about this one? Add a comment below. Hoping it's good. It's a Francis Kurkdjian creation. But, we already know some of his past creations for DIOR have been really, really lackluster. So let's talk about one of the elixirs now. Armani Code Elixir is launching soon. And I don't have a name of a perfumer here, but it's leather, liqueur, green mandarin, and roasted tonka beans. Let's see what they've done with this elixir. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of Armani. There are the rare occasions that I, find something from this house that turns out to be great, especially their Privé collection or Armani Privé, but I don't know, it's just been removed from Neiman Marcus here, so there's not much demand for those fragrances. That's why they got removed from Neiman Marcus. But the Code Elixir, I'm kind of curious to get my nose on it, but I'm not the biggest fan of the Code series, the Armani Code series. If you've gotten your nose on these fragrances, let us know, add a comment below. Let's move on to Goldfield and Banks. We've got Pacific Rock Flower. This is a fragrance created by Emilie Bouge. I got to sample this during duty free in Cannes. It was a real quick sniff though. And I was told I can't speak about it. And also I can't remember what I smelled because I smelled so much at that event. But this is like a flanker to Pacific Rock Moss. This is Pacific Rock Flower. I don't know if it's a flanker or it's a brand new release, but it's Australian sandalwood, Indonesian patchouli, tuberose, coral tree blossom, coconut, coastal tea tree, and sea salt. Are you a fan of this house and do you like their fragrances? Let me know your thoughts on this new release from Goldfield and Banks. Let's move on to Zoologist Perfumes, and we've got Orchid Mantis. Are you a fan of the fragrances from the house of Zoologist Perfumes? And what do you think about their new bottles? Add a comment below. This is created by Inaba, Tomoo. It's chock full of notes as usual from this house. It's moss, musk, patchouli, sandalwood, vetiver, ylang, rose, pink orchid, queen of the night, jasmine, basil, green notes, lemons, pear. So we'll see how this one is. I'm curious to get my nose on it. I like the house. Some of them are a bit more experimental and not necessarily fragrances I would wear but smell. Some of them are definitely enjoyable, like bee. I love bee. I love rabbit, and there's many others that I enjoy as well. But let's see what Orchid Mantis is all about. So here's the next two elixirs. It's from the same house. We've got Davidoff's Cool Elixir. So they've dropped the word water and they just went from Cool Water to Cool Elixir. This is created by 3 perfumers from IFF and Flipo, Jean-Christophe Herault, Nelly, Hachem-Ruiz. It's Oud Rose Oxide and Provençal Lavender. Man, this is a fragrance that's been around since the late 80s and they're still making flankers of this one series of fragrances. Does it even smell like the original fragrance anymore? And then they also have a ladies or feminine version of Cool Elixir. This is Cool Elixir Women. It's vanilla, jasmine, oak moss, absolute. I know nothing about the women's. Of course, I know the men's. But let's see what the Cool Elixir series has for us, what we're going to smell from it. Again, if you've gotten your nose on these fragrances, let us know, add a comment below. Let's move on to OMANLUXURY. This is CADEN, created by Maxime Exler. It's tonka beans, vanilla, amber wood, gaiac, labdanum, suede, coffee, cistus, benzoin, cardamom, saffron, cade, juniper. This one sounds quite good. I do enjoy a few fragrances from this house. Some I don't enjoy as much. But I'm curious to get my nose on CADEN. It really does sound great. But moving on to Mont Blanc's collection of 4 or 5 fragrances they launched that were part of like a more upper scale collection in unique bottles. They have a new one called Star Oud, created by Gael Montero. Cardamom, oud, amber, cinnamon, precious woods, and sandalwood. This sounds really, really great. I love cinnamon in fragrances. Of course, we have cinnamon in 54. Absolutely love it in that fragrance. It warms up fragrances quite a bit, and I like the idea of oud warmed up with cinnamon and some of the other notes in there. If you've gotten your nose on this one, let us know. I like this collection. I think I have to do a video on this collection. I haven't done it yet, but maybe I should wait until Star Oud is out. But if you've gotten your nose on us, as I said, add a comment below. But out of all of the fragrances that I'm talking about today, this one sounds the most exciting, is Paris Monte Carlo's Balsamir. Balsamir is a balsam-focused fragrance, I'm assuming. It's Tomoo balsam, labdanum, pink pepper, cedar, tonka, fir, popanax, davana, mandarin, myrrh. So it's an amber fragrance, but it's very balsamic with the fact that there's Tomoo balsam. And Tomoo balsam is a great note. I really, really love it. And I want to see what they've done with it. This fragrance house does some great work. Of course, their Vanille de Tahiti that I discovered in the extract is amazing. And I'm assuming this one launches as an eau de parfum. And then they've eventually launch an extract of it as well, which means it's going to be more intense and more luxurious, which is what happened with Vanille de Tahiti. So Balsamir, I'm really, really looking forward to. But the next fragrance I discovered at Exxon's earlier this year, it's Hakuna Matata, created by Rodrigo Flores Roux. It's bananas, orange blossom, honey, broom, bergamot, jasmine, and labdanum. It was very enjoyable for a banana fragrance. It was gourmandesque, but I don't call this very sugary sweet. I enjoyed it. I posted about it on my Instagram. If you haven't discovered it, go check it out. I really want to dig into 2787 as a brand. Not many people sell it in the States, if at all. But if you're a fan of this house, let me know. Add a comment below. But moving on to an older Italian fashion house called Iceberg. They have a brand new Homme fragrance, Iceberg Homme 2025, created by Pear Constantin Guerreros. This is ginger, cypress, sage, geranium, vetiver, rosemary, lemons, juniper berries, tonka, and patchouli. Because I haven't really gotten into this house and I saw that this was coming, I actually ordered their older Homme release off of FragranceNet. And so I'm looking forward to smelling the older version of Homme, Iceberg Homme, and then the new version that should be coming very soon. Although we don't have any stores that sell Iceberg fragrances, so let's see where I'm going to get it if I can, or probably will have to wait until it's at the discounters. But the next fragrance, called Flori Nebula from the House of the Harmonist, is launching, and their last release is also really, really great. The Oud that they launched, I featured it recently in a video. I absolutely love that one, and hopefully this one will be great as well. I'm assuming it's the same perfumer, Guillaume Flavigny. He does all the fragrances for the Harmonist, but this one features notes of apricots, Bulgarian rose, datura, bergamot, pink pepper, bitter orange, musk, vanilla, amber. Let me know if you're a fan of this house. I've done quite a few videos on this house. I actually have visited their store in LA, which I'm assuming is no longer. I shot a video there, and I've done a few videos here and there on the house and their fragrances. And I'm looking forward to this and see what they've done with it. So moving on to the House of Atelier Materi, we have a new vanilla fragrance, which I got to sample at Exxon's. It's called Vanille Carbone. This is created by Natalie Gracia Ceto, who works at Givaudan. She actually created Vanilla Sex. So they don't smell anything like whatsoever. Vanille Carbone is so smoky and leathery. To me, it was leathery, quite leathery, but very, very dark and smoky. So to me, it didn't smell like vanilla sex, but it's the same perfumer that created this and the other fragrance, but it's vanilla, 3 different kinds of vanilla, leather, Somalian frankincense, Madagascan pepper, pink pepper. But for me, the latest release from them is, my favorite is Neroli Hasbaya. Been really, really digging that fragrance. Absolutely love it. I didn't love Vanille Carbone as much, but I didn't really wear it. I sampled it in passing, so it was a quick sniff. But moving on to the house of Etat Libre d'Orange is Above the Waves, and I believe this is exclusive to a retailer. I think it's in China or somewhere in the Asian market. And I'm not 100% sure. I just read something really quickly. But it's a tea-focused fragrance with cypress, oolong tea, frankincense, bergamot, tea, rose, vetiver, cedar. So this one might be very difficult to get if that's the case. It's an exclusive to a retailer not close to where I travel to or near me. So it might be a bit complicated for me to get my hands on this. But I'm curious to get my nose on this fragrance and see what it's all about. I do enjoy tea fragrances. But the next fragrance from the house of Parlez-moi de Parfum, it's Orange Hyper Essence X, created by Michel Almerac, of course. This is his son's brand. So Michel's son, Benjamin, has a brand called Parlez-moi de Parfum, which recently I also mentioned about Wake Up World. This is the brand. Wake Up World is a great alternative to the really badly reformulated Minotaur by Paloma Picasso, but this one's an orange-focused fragrance. Bitter orange, California orange, Valencia orange, Prosecco, ginger, and cardamom. So this almost sounds like, although the one from Maison Margiela, I think featured Aperol Spritz, which is made with Prosecco, but this one just is Prosecco. So orange is having a moment, I think, for citrus fragrances, and I'm really curious to get my nose on this one. I like the brand. There's several I love. Wake Up World is a favorite of mine. Mile High is also a favorite from that house. So really curious to get my nose on is Orange Hyper Essence X. But the next fragrance from the house of Adamo Parfum, it's Eden. This is created by Hamid Maradi Kashani. It's woodsy notes, white blossoms, plums, and grapefruit. I actually sampled this one also at Exxon's. It was a real quick sniff. Exxon's has gotten so big you can't really, go through all of the fragrances. It's just no time for 4 days. So at the very last minute, I quickly smelled it and I liked it. I think this might be my favorite of the 3 prior and then this new one. But we shall see. I'll have to compare them. I really like plums in fragrances. It's an underrated fruit. It doesn't come up too much. But I think they did a pretty good job here with the plum note. And then next we've got one from the house of Juicebox called Sisters Before Misters. I actually did a brief video, talking about the fragrance and my thoughts about the fragrance from a sample. It's a gourmand. It does lean feminine, unlike 54 from Juicebox, which is very unisex, maybe perhaps a bit masculine leaning as well. This is inspired by the Spice Girls. It's blackcurrant, ginger, lime, amber, milk, sandalwood, bananas, iris, lily of the valley, strawberry. I think it's kind of in line with things that Decay Ali creates. It's kind of sugary, sweet, gourmand. So I don't know, it should satisfy people that are into those kind of fragrances. Then the last fragrance I'm going to talk to you about is from the house of Raja Parfums. It's Isola Verde. I think that's how you say it. Now, they actually claim a perfumer, not Raja, has created this one. It's Antoine Cotton. And also, this comes as the 4th edition of the Oligarch, because this fragrance series started out as Oligarch, then they killed the Oligarch and brought back Isola Blue, I think was the first one. I think that's the first one. I'm losing count. But this is Isola Verde, or Verde. This is patchouli, hedione, magnolia, ambroxan, pink pepper, cardamom, sandalwood, osmanthus, guava, lily of the valley, tobacco. I kind of like this series. Let's see what the Verde is all about. It's gone green, I guess. And I love green fragrances to begin with. So I'm curious to get my nose on this one and see what it's all about. Does it stay the same DNA, especially since now they've got a actual different perfumer listed on it as the perfumer for it? So we shall see. Again, I haven't got my nose on it. How does it compare to the previous editions? I think it was Isola Blue, Isola Sol. Is that how it is? And then Isola Verde. So we'll see. We'll see how it is. But that's the last fragrance I'm talking about. There's some exciting fragrances coming. There's some fragrances that I'm definitely interested in getting my nose on, but I'm not holding my breath on a lot of these. We shall see how they are. I hope they're great. I hope at least one or two are great, and I can report to you guys about how great they are or how bad they are. But let me know what you're excited about. Let me know if you are interested in getting your nose on these 18 new fragrances. Add a comment below. But otherwise, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please do list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook. And I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye. So I've got a few bonus options here from two different brands, a series of fragrances. First of which is from COS or COS, and it's COS Perfumery. So this is a retail establishment under H&M, but it's a more higher end than H&M's clothing. So they have just launched 4 new fragrances for this brand, and I believe they're $100. I think they are sold here in the States. You can order them, but I don't have a COS store near me. I've been to a few on my travels. So there's 4 fragrances, and if you're familiar with COS, it's kind of similar to Zara. Zara also has Massimo Dutti, so they also have fragrances. I kind of categorize it like that. COS is under H&M, it's their higher end Zara, and then they have Massimo Dutti. But the first fragrance, Solaire, is created by ELIXIR Hermanides, and it seems all 4 fragrances are created by Firmenich perfumers. This has notes of storax, benzoin, elemi, cedar, musk, amber, black pepper, olibanum. I actually almost went and purchased these 4. Then I thought, okay, $400 for 4 bottles. It's not bad. It's almost like the price of one single niche fragrance. But they had smaller bottles. I thought, let me go with the smaller bottles. But they were like 15 mls for about half the price of the 100 mls. I wanted to find out a little bit more about these fragrances from other folks before I pull the trigger and order them. Or maybe I check them out on my travels. But if you've gotten your nose on these COS or COS Perfumery fragrances, do let me know. I'm very, very curious how great they are. I've bought H&M fragrances before. They're a little underwhelming, pretty good, not great. But these do seem like they're a bit more luxurious. So as I said, Solaire is created by ELIXIR Hermanides. We've got 3 more fragrances from COS Perfumery. 2 of them are created by Nathalie Lorson. 1 created by Sophie Labbe. The next one is called Myth, created by Nathalie Lorson. We've got cardamom, bergamot, vetiver, ginger, violets, and amorous for this one. Does it smell like Encre Noire since it features vetiver? And then the next one's also created by Nathalie Lorson. It's called Fleuriste. It's pink pepper, damask rose, peony, bergamot, vanilla, magnolia, mandarin. Does this at all smell like Delina? Because it's kind of going in that kind of a ballpark. Or maybe in the direction of Portrait of a Lady, spicy rose, who knows? But it does have that peony, so maybe it's more along the line of the Delina. The last fragrance is called Auburn, created by Sophie Labbe. Sounds like it's autumn, but it's vanilla, amber, sandalwood, labdanum, cardamom, cloves, ylang ylang, and coffee. This is the one that sounds the best to me, but I'm very curious to get my nose on all 4 of these to see what they're all about. I do find some fragrances at Zara to be really nice. I do find some fragrances at Massimo Dutti to be quite nice as well. I just haven't bought any Massimo Dutti fragrances because they are more expensive than Zara fragrances, but what was I going to say? I've sampled some on my travels, since I also bring back niche fragrances and designer fragrances, from mass market. I never end up having room for Massimo Dutti fragrances, and you guys have been asking me to, review some, talk about some on camera. I've liked several. Like last summer, I was in Belgium and I sampled quite a few Massimo Dutti fragrances at their store in Ghent, Belgium. And I wanted to buy some, but they're too heavy, and I didn't. So hopefully I'll get these from COS and also some Massimo Dutti fragrances soon in the future and speak about them. I do have a Zara video coming up that you guys should look forward to as well. And last but not least, I've got 3 fragrances, celebrity fragrances, I should say, from Sarah Jessica Parker. Think about Sarah Jessica Parker's fragrances. I don't have anything of her fragrances except for Stash SJP, which I thought was discontinued, but now I see it's selling everywhere, so it's back. And it's at the discounters for about $30. Probably Stash SJP is my favorite celebrity fragrance of all time. One that I was able to buy while it was out. but she's got 3 new fragrances, 3 very colorful bottles and very unique bottles. So that's why I'm talking about her fragrances, because, you know, Stash SJP is such a quality fragrance offering. First of which is called Blue Rhapsody. It's oud, sandalwood, iris, amber, nutmeg, musk, and mandarin. So it's an oud fragrance. It's, you know, woody, powdery, ambery. So we shall see. Warm, spicy, and musky as well, it seems like, with all the different notes here. Only time will tell. I like the bottles enough to talk about them. And again, as I said, I really love Stash SJP. I actually have a review on the channel. You can go find out about it and watch that video. And then if you like the sound of it, get yourself a bottle. As I said, it's about $30 for 100 ml. Totally worth it to have in your collection. Stash, I believe, stands for pistachio. There's a little bit of a pistachio note in there. But the next fragrance from this new trio of fragrances from Sarah Jessica Parker is Divine Lime. This one sounds so good, by the way. So bright and effervescent and very citrusy, juicy, with all kinds of citruses. You've got grapefruit, bergamot, mandarin, plus orange blossom, neroli, musk, amber, amber wood. So it seems like it's going ambery, woody, musky in the dry down. And I love the name, Divine Lime. Even though they don't mention or feature lime in the notes breakdown, it's all these citruses. Perhaps it creates a lime effect, which I like the idea of lime in fragrances. So the last fragrance in this collection is called Smitten in Pink. And this one sounds the least favorite, but still, I want to try it out and see. I hope these are not dupey or smelling like a lot of other fragrances. This one does sound like it could be similar to Baccarat Rouge. I hope not. It's saffron, ambroxan, oakmoss, praline, amberwood, musk, marigold, and orange. What do you guys think? Anybody got their nose on these? I looked them up when I first put my notes together about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. I didn't see them selling anywhere. I don't know what the price point's going to be, but they're never very expensive. I think they're like usually like $60, $70. So I'm very curious to get my nose on them, and maybe I'll blind buy the 3 and do a video. What are your thoughts on these Sarah Jessica Parker fragrances? And what about the Cause Perfumery? If you want to find out about these fragrances, let me know. But I definitely want to hear some people talk about them first. Again, if you've gotten your nose on these Sarah Jessica Parker fragrances or the Cause Perfumery fragrances, do add a comment below so we can find out. But thanks so much for watching today, guys. Stay tuned for another video soon. Bye-bye.